today what we're going to do is talk about how we can have a conversation with the universe. Who already thinks that they do have a conversation with the universe here? Yeah, Maria, tell me about your experiences with that.
Well, I have a daily practice. Sorry, it might be loud in the background. Just connecting with different guides and angels and just different energies, whether it's like my own or nature. And so, I mean, qualifying what it is exactly, I don't know, but it feels good. And I find a place of like centeredness and quiet and intuition.
Yeah, cool. Fantastic. And so I'm going to take it one step further today and we're actually going to get answers back. So the first thing I wanted to explain is kind of how I got to do this, so you guys can have a little bit of understanding as how, see, I like this. I like talking to people. I don't want to talk to myself. It's so boring. Okay, so the way this all happened is that it was about 5 years ago. I was getting to the stage in my life where I was pulling my hair out with wanting to know the answers to everything. So, you know, with money issues or with business success or whatever, I'm like, I just really want to know the answer. I just knew that there was like a secret around all of this. And when I started looking for what that secret is, I was getting, you know, getting books. I mean, who's been there getting books after books after books, you know, looking for the answer, wanting to know how can I be a success and all that sort of thing. And after a while, I was trying everything. I was trying to find out, you know, how I could save my business, how I could save my relationship, and nothing was working. And so I got the secret. Who's got the secret, right? I got the secret, and I remember going away on a holiday and the secret didn't work, and I'm there with no money in my account on a holiday. And I was just wishing and hoping for the clients to come through and wishing and hoping, because that's what they said to do. And so I was just there going, come on, I'm visualizing it, I'm seeing it, I want this to happen. Nothing happened, and I was angry. Who's been angry at the universe before? Yeah, right. So I was sitting there and I was so angry, and I'm like, this stuff does not work. So years and years and years and going through, you know, adversity and, you know, losing houses and all that sort of thing, I really got pushed into these. Who loves their angel cards, right? Yeah. So this was my first ever pack, and I love it dearly. And what happened is every time I drew out cards of this, there were 3 cards that always came out. The first one was trust. The second one was we've got it sorted kind of thing. And the third one was get outside. And I'm like, this is crap. I want something else. Like, give me something else. It's not the answer. And you know what? Every time I pulled a card or 3 cards, the same cards came out. Now, this went on for about probably 18 months. Wow. And I'm just like, give me the answer. Anyway, you have to kind of go to bottom to actually then surrender and go, I can't do anything else. What happened then is EFT came across my path. So who loves EFT and tapping? So that came across my path, and it was the cheapest course that I could do because I had no money. So I thought, I'm going to do this course. And the very first day when I did that course, I was like, this is going to change my life. I could feel it energetically, physically. Like, that's going to change my life. Anyway, I then started practicing EFT, and I did it for about a year until after a while when I was doing it and I was working with clients, I'd start to get these kind of messages in my head, and I was thinking, oh, that's just people's energy talking to me. And so I would just ignore it and whatever. But what would happen is that they would then say to me, oh, I've just thought of such and such, and I was thinking the same thing. And I'm like, that's a bit weird. How can they think the same thing as what I'm thinking? And so this kept going on for a little while until there was one time where I really held back from a really, really big awareness. And I just went, I can't tell you, like this lady, I got the message that she'd had an abortion, and I didn't really even know her. I can't just go out and go, I think you've had an abortion, that's why you've got these issues. Anyway, as we're going on, I thought I'm going to try and coax her into telling me the truth. And as we went along and we got her to disclose exactly what was going on, I kept asking her, what happened around this age? And anyway, she then burst into tears. Oh my God, I had an abortion. And I'm like, I threw my pen across the room. I'm like, I'm done not listening. I am so done not listening. I got to listen. And it was that very day that when I started to listen. But then it took another 2 years of just kind of listening as tapping. So I was tapping and getting the messages and tapping and getting the messages. Did that for another 2 years until about 18 months ago. It was just before Christmas, I think it was, not last year, year before. And I was just sitting there and I got an idea. And it was an idea to do some New Year blockbuster sessions. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I didn't know how they were going to happen. I said, I'm going to do that. And I did that. And I got 150 people sign up and I was booked up for 3 months. And I was like, crap, how did that happen? And that was when, from there on, I got another idea to set up a distance clearing circle. And then I got 80 people sign up for that. I'm like, and I didn't even know how I was going to do it. I just did it. So I just did it and acted on it. And I did that for about 6 to 12 months, just listened and acted. And then I thought, there's something in this. And so I thought, I'm going to share with everyone how this works, because I now have a successful business after having 4 businesses, which were successful. People would say they were successful, and I got lots of awards and everything else. But for me, they didn't exceed my expectations. Whereas with this, I had no expectations, absolutely no expectations. And magic happened. And I was like, this is really cool. So what happened then is I've then literally asked the universe, and this is where the conversation really started taking place, is getting a message back. I said, how did I do that? Or how did we do that? And I got the answers. I got the answers in visions in my head. I even had a specific, it was a specific, what do you want to call it, like a diagram. Got diagrams as to what this new business process looks like. I got everything. And I sat down and I got a message in my head saying, this is a 20-week program. And I said, okay. And then I got a message, charge this much. I'm like, okay. Didn't even know where the people were going to come from or anything like that. And I think about 40 people came on board for the first Universal Business, which was last year. So now we're going into the second Universal Business, and I've got more information for everyone, which is so cool. So what I thought I would do, because a big part of the Universal Business is sharing. And really that is what is called our marketing, if you want to call it marketing. There's no sales funnel. There's no hustling or pushing or whatever. It's all about sharing. And so again, a thought popped into my head. You need to run a webinar, which webinar doesn't even work. You need to run a webinar on how to talk to the universe. And I'm like, okay. Of course, I listened and I acted, but webinar doesn't work. But again, I like seeing everyone's beautiful faces. So that's the reason. And this is, again, how the Universal Business works, is it's like it works depending upon what works for you. And there's no traditional way. There's no, you have to do it this way. It's like whatever works for you. And I think I've just proven it, is that the webinar process doesn't actually work for me, because I like to see people. I like to talk to someone and to get feedback and to get questions. And especially when we're doing something as important as having a conversation with the universe, you might have some questions and you might say, I got this information, but I don't know where to go. And I can go blah, 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 and I can tell you. How does that sound? Yeah?
Good.
Awesome. Abby's the only one unmuted, so you can talk for everyone, darling. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get our trusty pens. We're just going to wiggle our shoulders. Get really, really, really loose and uncomfortable. After a while, you don't have to do this, but this is just going to help you. So you probably can feel a little bit of tension in your shoulders and in your back, so just wriggle it out. And then as you get rid of the last little bit of that, I'm just going to mute you, Abby, so we don't hear you fluffing around with your paper. Take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, just sink into your body. Just relax. Okay. You might want to close your eyes, and closing your eyes is really good. Now, As you're closing your eyes, I'm going to get you to go into your mind and I want you to empty it. Now, what I say by emptying it, you're going to get your own thought process as to how to empty it. It might be a bucket might come into your mind and scoop it out, or it might be a little vacuum that comes and vacuums all the bits and pieces out of your head. We want an empty head. So just nod your head when your head is empty. So I know we can continue. Maria's good. Yep, Savannah, Kristen's good. Jodie's, of course, good. Robin. Jodie is the master conversation with the universe chatter. Abby, are you good, darling? Getting there? Take another deep breath if you need to, and then relax even more. And just as you breathe out, get rid of any other stuff in there. Okay. Now I'm going to get you to write. Actually, first off, I want you just to think of a question that's been really bugging you, something that you really want to know, something that you have no idea of what the answer is. And I want you to write that down. And you just put the first letter of your name. So Maria will put M and a stroke. Kristen will put K and a stroke. And then write the question as to what that question is. Does anyone want to share with us what that question is that they've got?
I will.
Go for it, Dal.
I am running some workshops at a yoga studio that don't feel right, and I'm considering either canceling them or changing how I deliver them.
Yeah, cool. So you want to know which one to do?
Mm-hmm.
Great. You might have a very quick conversation because it's either, but you can keep asking more questions. So the thought that I'm getting now is that what you can do is you can get the answer and then you can ask the next steps or what have you. So we'll do that one. Everyone is good with their question? And I love this. I love getting questions. Savannah, you want to share yours, Dal? I'll unmute you. What's your question?
Hi, lovely to meet you. My question is, my teaching career is coming to an end. What next?
Love that question. Woohoo! That's an awesome
good.
one. Yeah, fantastic. So Marina's just come on. Marina, what we need to do is we just need to write down a question that we have for the universe. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put a U with a stroke because this is the universe's answer. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to look at your question and then I want you to say in your head the question that comes up into your head. So say in your head, so say for example, Maria will say, universe, should I do this or should I do that? And then what I want you to do is I want you to write down the first thing that comes to mind. So Savannah, you'll say, again, what's next for you? And then you write down the first thing that comes to mind. Now this is crucial because this is the first start, okay? So who has got that bit? Jodie. Savannah, did you get anything?
I did.
Yeah, so what did you get?
Healing.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great, that thought came up. Great, fantastic. Kristen, what did you get? What was your question and answer?
I had what's the next step? I have a lot of projects going on.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I didn't get anything. Maybe I need to.
No, we're going to help you. I wanted to find someone who couldn't do it.
Uh-oh.
No, we can help you. It's awesome. So the question, just tell me the question again.
Well, I've got a number of projects in my mind and interests, and I'm just like, gosh, is there one they're all interesting to me. What's the next one? What's the one I don't want to say the right one, but is there one that's stronger than the others? Is there one that...
I like what's the next one? What's the first one? Was it the first one? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get you just to relax. You might be thinking it's too hard because it's actually really easy. That's why I'm sharing this. Like, God, if everyone can do this, why wouldn't they, right? Okay, so just relax. Okay, so you've got a number of projects in mind. What is the first one to start off with? Tell me the first thing that comes to mind.
I'm working on some coloring books.
Okay, that's the first one.
Okay.
Okay, can you see that just came in? Awesome. Okay, so everyone's got that next one. Maria, did you get your answer, darling?
When I go into stillness and I have the question, I get a lot of anxiety in my stomach.
Great.
Like,
Now that's
am I
really good to
gonna get
listen
the right-
to.
It's more like, am I going to get the right answer?
Okay, so that's a really big part of this, and I did actually have all this written down, is that there's a couple of different elements, and again, we can all see that if this does happen in our journey with Conversation with the Universe, is that there's quite a few elements that we need to put in place for it to, again, work. So the first one is trust. Now, sometimes if we haven't been able to trust that voice in our head, because sometimes we can have voices that aren't very nice in our head, okay, that's fine. I always say the difference between what voices you listen to and the voices that you don't listen to is the voices who are supportive and guiding and helping, you listen to those ones. The ones that aren't, you don't. Okay? So just make sure that you just listen to that. So what was the first thing that came to mind for you, Maria, when you asked that question?
Should I cancel the workshops? It was no.
Yep.
And do I offer them as they are? No.
Great. Oh, I love that. Yes. Okay. So I just want to check in with Robin. Robin, are you cool with your answer? Did you? Yeah, you're all good. I can't see the others, so I just, and I know Jodie, sorry, Jodie and Abby. I just think I don't need to check in on you guys because you're doing newbie with me. So do I need to check in with you guys? Abby, are you okay? Hang on, let me unmute you, darling.
I wonder like whether my questions are too generic. I'm saying like where to go to from here. I feel like I've reached a little bit of a, plateau, or that I want to step up. I really feel it's time to, stand in the light. So as I was listening to you, kind of ask, okay, what is the first thing, that I should be focusing on? But I didn't,
Yeah, you've used that magic word should. So we don't
Okay.
should, have to, or need in this kind of arena. We don't do any of that. So I think your first question was great because, and I love it when I give the universe really hard questions because there's no way that I could physically answer it.
no.
There's absolutely no way. So I write down a question, even if clients give me questions or whatever, and I've got to give an answer, I go, oh my God, what am I going to say? And still comes out every time. So with that first question that you have, I would say that that's a great question because it really opens your mind to all the possibilities. So let me ask you, and this is where it's kind of good to have someone to facilitate it when you're starting off, and good why we didn't do it in a webinar format.
Yes.
I don't know how we could have done this actually. So, Abby, the question that you had was what?
Where to go to from here?
Great. Okay, so I'm going to ask that to you. Clear your mind and tell me the first thing that comes to mind. So, Abby, where do you want to go to from here?
See, when it comes up, it's actually to travel.
Yes, well, that's always been your thing.
Yeah,
But again,
there you go.
sometimes we don't. Sometimes, do you like how I'm whispering?
I agree.
Sometimes we don't like the answers that we get because they're the truth.
I agree. So therefore, we always go back to the ones that we kind of like, no, yes.
You know what? That's the not listening for 18 months.
Okay.
You gotta listen. And the thing is, when you don't listen and you still get the messages, the universe will then give you a sign and then it'll give you a song, or then you'll watch a movie and you'll go, oh, I was just thinking about that the other day. You didn't listen. Yeah. So this is the big thing, is that we get 1,400 messages a day from the universe. Like, it's constant. If you think do some research into how often we think, if you could do some research into how often we think, that's actually how often we can get a message. Same thing. So for you, travel. Okay, everyone is at a place where I want them to be. I'm just going to mute you again, Abby, because now we need to ask the universe. Okay, so we've got our next bit that we need to know. Now we're going to ask, how do I do this? Or what is my next step? Or what is the next thing I need to do? Or the next thing I need to know? What else do I need to know? So I'm going to get you to write that question down. What is the next thing? What do I need to know? What is my next step? And then keep your brain open and allow the information to come through. And try and grab that first thought that comes through. If you don't get an answer, ask the question again and again and again. Robin, what did you get? I'll unmute you. What did you get? You're smiling.
I got
What's that?
to be still. I got to be still.
And what do you think about that?
It was a totally interesting answer. It wasn't what I expected, so I think it's legitimate.
Isn't that, and that's where you know that it's not you? Because there's no way that you could come up with that answer. High five, sister.
So I thought that was pretty cool. That's why I'm smiling.
So for you to be still, does that resonate? Do you feel like that could be something you can do?
With difficulty, but yes.
Okay, so your next
Well,
question...
I mean, not with difficulty. I mean, I could definitely do that.
Okay, so with your next question, you could maybe even ask, so what elements do I need to do? What do I need to create to bring in this more stillness? And again, get some answers.
Okay.
I'll leave you with that one. Savannah's doing some more talking. Kristen, what did you get? I'll unmute you. What was your answer?
Mine was finish.
Start or finish?
Well, it started, so it's kind of like finish.
Okay, so you need to know, and this is where we want to bring, with this conversation with the universe and working with the universe, is that we bring everything into now, and it's all about action steps, right? Sometimes when we're working on a really big project, it's really hard to see like the little baby steps. We see the end result and we're like, yes, we want to do that. And then all we focus on that, and it's just too much. It's just too hard to try and get there. So the really big secret to trying to do anything is not to think about, like, know that that's the end result, but then forget about it. So I say it's like having money, relationships, anything that we want. You have that as the goal, the vision, whatever you want to call it, but then you forget about it. You put it out to the universe and you forget about it, and then you come back to, what can I do right now? So that's your next question to the universe. Okay, finish. So what is my next action step? What can I do today? What can I do right now?
Okay.
Start that going. Maria, how are you going? You're laughing.
Well, I don't know. When I said, what is my next step with these workshops, it was like this just blank space.
Mom!
Sorry, my child is yelling at me. Honey,
okay.
yeah, it was just like I could see, it was just like this open space.
So you need help?
Sure, yes.
Okay. So sometimes when you have a blank space and there's no answers, you just sit there and you dull your brain even more. Like, I make a joke that I just don't think. I never think. So what you do is you just dull your brain even more, and then you just keep asking the question over and over and over again in your brain. Try that.
Okay.
And see how that goes. Okay. How's everyone else going? Savannah, how are you? You look like you're very...
Yeah,
okay,
no, nothing.
So the question was?
My question was, okay, I got healing,
Yep.
and then what is my next step?
And nothing.
Nothing.
Yep, and so did
Not
you
even-
keep asking? Keep asking the question?
Yeah, I'm trying to ask, yeah.
Yep. So just take it, if you can just take another deep breath now and really empty your brain till there's absolutely nothing in your head. You'll get a vision come up soon. For the rest of you guys, you can keep chatting. So Robin, if you've got some answers and things like that, keep chatting with the universe and keep asking more questions. You can continue on like quite a conversation with the universe. So, Savannah, what's going on in your head at the moment?
I'm trying to force it because I don't want to force it because I want to write, but I don't want to force that. That's what I've been told. That's the only thing that's coming in.
That's good. So why don't you start writing? You might do a little bit of what you want to call journaling on this then, and allow that information to come through that way. So you can just say, okay, and this is a really cool other way to have a conversation with the universe, that you can go, okay, universe, you've told me that I'm meant to do some kind of healing. What do you mean by that?
Okay.
Wait for and you can, and that's also bringing in a little bit of automatic writing into it as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So that might be your vehicle and your way to being able to do this. So
yeah. Okay.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
That's okay. No worries. Who else would like to have some help with their chat with the universe? Abby, I'll come to you, darling. Yes?
It's kind of like what Savannah has, like I was a bit like, what do I need to do? And I feel that nothing is coming through. I'm also kind of very much aware that I seem to have still 3 months worth of downloads as well, that I still have to go.
Well, we have talked about that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a bit like, woohoo! So I have to feel like a bit like Savannah, that I might still like need to journal a bit more too, and really
awesome.
deep, and it needs practice.
Yeah.
So
journaling is really cool because you can even if you get frustrated with no answers, you go, okay, I'm really frustrated now that I have no answers and this is really pissing me off.
That's good.
Yeah, be honest. I mean, the universe hears and sees everything, so why would it not? and then you'll start to find it'll go, don't be pissed off, and you'll go, oh, okay.
Okay.
And you'll get something simple as be still or listen or go outside, and you'll go, really?
Really, yes.
And the other thing too is that sometimes the timing isn't right. I suppose when you get used to doing this on a daily basis or more than once a day, it ends up coming a lot quicker. But if you are new to it, you do need to be in the right environment. So being outside and being able to connect to nature and energy and all that sort of thing really does help as well if you get stuck. The other place which is really awesome to have a chat with the universe, and you don't actually need to write it down, is you can just go and have a shower.
I knew you were going to say that, Sam.
So you just go and have a shower, and that always gives you, like, you can talk about the day and go, oh, that was really crappy what happened there. So, why did that happen? And then you'll get this most amazing answer back going, really? And then you'll go, okay, well, I'm not worried about that anymore.
Or when you're driving.
Driving is a big one.
That's where I started, yeah.
Yeah, driving is an awesome one. Jodie, I'm going to get you to give us an example of one of your recent conversations with the universe, like one that just kind of blew you away.
Oh, dear.
Have you got one there that you can share with everyone?
There was one, I guess as you progress through it, mine is slightly different. Rarely is it a question and answer, a question and answer. It's a question or a thought and then a knowing, and it comes in a block now, if that makes sense. But I questioned it for a long, long time, as Kim knows. Now, there was one this morning as we were trying to get this started that I shared in the group, which is short enough probably to share now because some of mine are a bit lengthy. And I'm just trying to find it again. I have been still thinking a lot, and there's been a lot of talk around some of the groups we're in about this life's purpose. What am I meant to do? Where am I meant to be heading? And this idea that we have this one defined life's purpose that we're all meant to be searching for. My conversations now come from I'm just thinking about it and then they tell me stuff. It's not really a sit down. It can be, but it's not. And this came this morning. You don't always see your purpose because you are your purpose. You are your purpose, just being you. You don't see your soul, but you don't doubt it exists. It just is. You can't always see what is already in you, what you already are, what is part of you. Moving towards you, towards your acceptance of self, towards wholeness is what will open the doors to your divine life. It is all about what is within you and accepting and aligning all of that which is within. And accepting and aligning, oh, I typed that twice. Accept your greatness, your wholeness, accept you, all of you. Actually, just embrace all of you. You are your divine purpose. That was one that came this morning as we were trying to get all going. Is that the sort of thing you meant, Kim?
Yeah, just to give everyone an idea, because we've just done some really basic conversations with the universe where it's like that really quick question and answer. But you can have one question that is really big, and you can even have it, again, I love it when you ask the question when you don't know the answer, what is my life's purpose? And you get something like that, and you just go, wow. And you can do that. And I mean, again, you might get it coming to you as a thought, but it's great to write it down because then you've got it there to...
I mean, I asked a question this morning, I suppose, as we were doing this, the one that we've been doing right now, which was a little more... I just find it difficult now to differentiate the question and the answers. It just sort of flows. But my question on this instance was, why am I reluctant to do an online face-to-face course like what we're doing right now? And I've had this huge reluctance to that. So I thought I'll ask that. My answer was, you are scared of judgment, and if it is live yet intimate, there is no hiding. You can hide behind emails, you can hide in front of large groups. And I said, what do you mean I can't hide when and they said, you can't hide with 10 to 20 people live. And I said, okay, with more of a, so it was just an okay question.
Yeah.
So I kind of was like, I don't know where to go. Like, that's not what I expected. And they just said, remember, there is no reason to hide. I said, okay, so how do I get past it? Quit the resistance. This is the middle level, the missing piece of your existing plan. And they gave me prices and how to do it.
Can you just see how easy life is when you talk to the universe? And so I have to say, and I think everyone, like Jody, even you'll agree with me because we've been doing this for a little while now, but we'll still forget that we can do this. So we'll have some kind of drama in our life or whatever, and we'll sit in the drama for a little bit, and then we'll go, you'll just get this feeling, this yucky feeling, and then you'll just get oh my God, I don't know what to do about it. And all of a sudden it'll click, I can just have a chat with the universe. And you just sit down and do similar. I love that example that you had, Jody, about the okay or the why or whatever, and you get more information. And that's exactly what can happen. Like, you can just literally get everything you need from these chats with the universe. You don't actually need to go external to yourself. And you just, it's really universal knowledge that you're downloading, and you can use it for anything from getting clarity in any kind of life stuff. For business, you can get it for pricing, you can get it for next steps. I mean, that's really now how I personally run my life is, every single day I don't really have an idea of what I'm doing. It makes my husband go crazy because I actually don't have a plan. And so I just get up every day, and whatever I'm guided to do, I will do that. And the results always just blow me out of the water. You could never, ever plan for unlimited success or unlimited opportunities or unlimited health or wealth or whatever. And so this is where you can trust, and you can start to trust that the voice and the process and everything else, because you start getting these little amazing scenarios come up that make you go, how on earth did that happen?
Can I?
Yeah.
Trust is a huge thing when you start this, and I think it's what a lot of us really struggle with. There's one thing to ask a question.
Yeah.
There's another. First, you've got to identify what your question is. So you've got to do that, which takes a little bit of self-reflection. Then there's one thing to ask it. There's then another to accept or receive or hear an answer. But the trusting that answer is not you is where I sat for a long, long time. And in the end, it was quite a not forceful, that's the wrong word, quite a strong conversation or answer that they gave me. And it was literally, why have you asked us? Something's not working. If you had it all sorted, you wouldn't be asking these questions. So whatever you're doing now is not working. What's the problem with trusting and seeing if this message is correct for a while? How about you give us a month or so and actually trust and follow through? What have you got to lose? Because clearly it's not working for you now, or you wouldn't have asked us. Yeah. So my trust wasn't even trusting that it was true. My trust was trusting to try and prove it right or wrong.
Yes. And that's what I love that, because that leads me on to the next thing I want to talk about, is the fact that when you don't trust it and you get the messages or the thoughts or ideas or whatever else, is that these 1,400 signs, messages, you know, things that happen per day will remind you of those thoughts that have come up that you've completely not listened to. And the listening is the most important part. But I don't know about you guys, but you have so many thoughts come and go in your head that you think to yourself, well, how do I know what to listen to and what not to listen to? And initially you do need to do what Abby's going to be doing shortly, is you need to clear and download all that stuff. So again, journaling or whatever is a really good way to unload all your crap first before you even start talking to the universe. But then if you do get little, and I'll give you an example, I do a lot of work with a swimming club, for example, a kids swimming club, and I'm helping them with mindset work. And I kept getting this thought pop into my head about adrenaline, and I just didn't think anything of it until I was actually watching it was so funny, but I was watching a movie about superpowers and how they actually use adrenaline to be able to achieve and perform. And I'm like, oh, I've just been thinking about adrenaline. And then I saw something pop up on my Facebook page about adrenaline. And I'm like, okay, so this is where you can get so many messages and signs that actually either confirm to you that what that information was correct, and to really listen, or it's almost like a donking it on your head and saying, listen. So it could come through as anything you hear. So you might even overhear a conversation on something that you've been thinking about, or you might hear something on the radio or see something on the news and you're like, oh my God, I was thinking about that the other day. It means pay attention. So if you see it, so if you see someone doing something, or if you see an accident, or if you see something, it's always a message for you as well. Songs and movies are my favorite because there's always great messages in that. Even if you're on Facebook and you see phrases or quotes or words that come up that you just think, oh, I was thinking about that, or that's the answer to my question that I was actually having. Then you've got signs, which is like, who says, oh, I want to see a feather to prove the universe is listening to me? Like, who says that? Like, it's like the universe just laughs at us now, because if we can talk to the universe, why do we need these signs? But still, I see a lot of people still saying, I need to see a sign. I need to know that the universe is listening to me. Well, you now know how to talk to the universe. But again, if you see a feather, it's a reminder to talk to the universe or whatever. A smell, like who often has a smell and then it reminds you of something, or, it might take you back to a memory. Again, that relates to what your next steps are. Clouds in the sky. You can see beautiful things in clouds in the sky. Another message that you can get. Again, if you get sick, getting sick or having an illness is a big message, or an accident is a really big message. If you, anything to do with cars, if you have anything to do with your car is representative of you and your body. So if your car breaks down, where are you breaking down? If your starter motor isn't working, where are you holding back and starting, and all that sort of thing. A car is very much, you treat a car like your own body and see where that's reflecting. Houses, again, in houses, things breaking in houses, there's always messages in that. Gut feelings and emotions, they're definitely an alarm bell. There's something that you need to pay attention to. But people, especially family, husbands, partners, they are the biggest message for us. And if we treat them like that and not get triggered by it, we learn so much about our path and our next step, and it's amazing. Dreams, animals can give you messages if you keep seeing a bird or a cat or whatever. Again, there's a message in that. Coincidences, synchronicities, seeing things over and over and over again. It's like the universe going, wake up, wake up. And then, I mean, you've got angel numbers. Who looks at angel numbers? You've got angel numbers. Oracle cards are a really good way to get messages. And then you've also got symbols. Like there's symbols that pop up into your awareness quite a lot. So these are all the ways, and you can see by looking at all these ways that you can speak to the universe and get messages from the universe. Oh, isn't that beautiful? What card is that, Savannah? Let me have a look.
I just drew this card. And it's clairsentience, and it says, notice your recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance.
Beautiful.
Yep.
That's a lovely message.
It is, yep.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. And this is it. So there's just so many ways that we can talk to the universe. So I've just shown you how you can have an actual conversation. And I want you guys to practice it. And whether you come into one of my groups and talk about it or what have you, is to share how you're going. And of course, if you're ever stuck, you can always ask and say, I'm stuck with how to do this. You know, what other questions should I ask? How can I get more clarity around it? Because you can always get the answer to anything. And I'm saying anything that you're stuck with, you can always get the answer. So I'm going to get you guys to keep in touch with me in the groups that I've got. So I've got the Universal Entrepreneur, and I've got the Soul Awesomeness group, and I've also got my Kim Eyring-Jansen page, and I think a lot of people are friends with me on Facebook as well, because I love people and I love friends, and I'll accept your friend requests because I love all you guys. But also just going into my main message around this is that you should never be stuck. You should never be stuck. And again, the next thing is that there's never any shoulds, haves, tos, or need to, or anything like that. And also, if you want to check out on my KimEyringJansen.com page, and I'll also put a link into the email link that I sent out to you. I'll put a link into the Universal Business and the Universal Life, which starts on Monday. And that's about how you can really use these universal messages and using the universe to get these next steps into business. But also I share that whole process with all those beautiful diagrams that universe gave me to share with everyone. So, oh, Kat's joined us. Hi, darling. We're just finishing up. Bugger. I just want to show everyone these beautiful things that you bought me. I got this all the way from America. These beautiful, beautiful little, I don't know if you can see. And this one, I love this one because it says on the back, when you read this, remember me. Like little book holders. Thank you, darling, for my beautiful present. I love it. Yay. Anyway, so we're getting off the track here. So really what I'm trying to say is that nothing should hold you back from anything. There should be no shoulds, have tos, or need to. And I really want you guys, it's a really big message that what I'm being told to tell you right now is to really keep an eye out for what you're thinking. Like write down all your thoughts, being really aware of your thoughts, and really try and stay in the present. And there's Beck. So, everyone's coming in because of that stupid webinar. Sorry. So being really present in your day and not thinking too much in the future. Don't think about the past, because again that clouds your mind to get these messages. But also just not having any shoulds or have tos. If you find yourself shoulding or have tos, you just stop that, because that's actually going against that pure alignment and that flow. And that way, like, you'll just put a block up when you're shoulding and have toing all over the place. So I'm sorry, Beck, that I can see you, darling. I'm so sorry. But we've recorded it, so I'm going to have to send the recording. Who wants to do this again? Yeah? Who thought this was fun? I'm going to unmute you all. Well, you didn't even get to try and play with us. Might be a bit noisy, though. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, this is so much more fun than a webinar, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you guys can keep posting in the groups about how your chats with the universe is, and we'll do this again. I'll set up another call where we can all talk to the universe and really get on top of all these things that you think you don't know the answer to. I'm
thank you. I'm right behind you.
I'm being told to challenge the universe as to getting the answers to really tricky things. So Beck and Kat, when you guys listen to the replay, it'll give you an idea as to how to have those chats with the universe, and I want you guys to try it. And these guys here, they all had little bits and pieces come up that stopped them from getting the answers, and we kind of tackled those, which was great. So practice all your chats with the universe, share with us exactly how you're going with everything, and we'll do this again because it was fun.
Yes, it was lovely.
Yay.
Right.
Okay, sending lots of kisses all around the world. Bye. Love you guys, and there's a recording of coming up for you guys, okay?
Thanks, Kim. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.